Began at 10 p.m. on a Saturday night. At Dallas Methodist Hospital. Getting there was a bit of a scramble. My father, fresh from working in the garden in his overalls, had to change clothes at the last minute because his boss had initially dismissed my mother's labor pains. That chaotic dash led to my mother's body going into shock, a moment that deeply frightened my grandmother. My parents had an interesting start. Dad, a Navy man with a hippie streak, met Mom at a fancy furniture store where they both worked. While Mom built her career in the furniture business, Dad seemed to yearn for a specific kind of family life. We moved constantly, bouncing between perhaps 20 different houses before I even turned 7. This constant change was the backdrop to my early years, until my parents eventually split when I was 7. After the split, I moved in with my mother's mother. I have vivid flashes of memory from as young as 2, like being on a beach, moments that feel remarkably no AI. SUICIDEEMOJI's Avatar SUICIDEEMOJI's Avatar Suicide Emoji April 18, 2025. The Writer and the Machine 0 Minutes Read. The Writer and the Machine. How supremely talented writers navigate the AI revolution in the quiet hours before dawn. A novelist stares at her manuscript, cursor blinking patiently at the end of a difficult paragraph. Down the hall, a journalist races against deadline, checking facts while refining prose. Across town, a poet deliberates over the perfect word to complete a verse. These timeless scenes of literary creation are now being subtly transformed by an invisible collaborator, artificial intelligence. The integration of AI into the creative process represents one of the most significant shifts in the history of writing, a transformation that holds particular implications for those who have already mastered their craft. Redefining the writer's role in an age of algorithms. For centuries, the identity of a writer has been intertwined with complete ownership of their words, every sentence constructed, every metaphor imagined, every revision deliberated by human intellect alone. Now, as show more. No AI. SUICIDEEMOJI's Avatar SUICIDEEMOJI's Avatar Suicide Emoji April 11, 2025. Enochian Matrix, Core Philosophy and Practices 0 Minutes Read. Enochian Matrix, Core Philosophy and Practices. What is the core philosophy of the Enochian Matrix tradition? The Enochian Matrix presents a non-dualistic cosmology where consciousness and matter are not separate but are different expressions of the same underlying reality, called the Matrix. This tradition views the universe as a living, conscious entity where matter itself possesses awareness and purpose. Embodiment in the physical world is considered sacred and evolutionary, a departure from esoteric systems that often devalue material existence in favor of spiritual realms. The core teaching emphasizes the interconnectedness of all things through this intelligent, energetic field. What are the historical origins and key figures of the Enochian Matrix? The Enochian Matrix claims ancient roots in biblical Enochian literature, Hermetic philosophy, and various indigenous wisdom traditions. Its modern emergence is traced to the 1880s through the independent revelations of 3 Show More. No AI. SUICIDEEMOJI's Avatar SUICIDEEMOJI's Avatar SUICIDEEMOJI February 22, 2025. The Resurrection of the Saints 0 Minutes Read. The resurrection of Jesus Christ is at the heart of the Christian message one and stands as the cornerstone of the Christian faith. It is not merely an important event but the very basis of Christian belief too. However, nestled within the Gospel accounts, we find a curious and often overlooked passage that speaks of other individuals being raised from the dead at the time of Christ's crucifixion and resurrection. This resurrection of several believers was one of the phenomena accompanying the resurrection of Jesus Christ to underscore that monumental event. 3. Matthew 27, 52-53 states, "The tombs also were opened. And many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised, and coming out of the tombs after his resurrection they went into the holy city and appeared to many." This passage raises several intriguing questions. Who were these saints? What was the nature of their resurrection? And what is the theological significance of this event? This article delves into these questions. Show more. No AI. SUICIDEEMOJI's Avatar SUICIDEEMOJI's Avatar Suicide Emoji January 27, 2025. Earth is not a testing ground. 0 minutes read. Earth is not a testing ground. It is not a preparatory stage for something better. This is not a playground, and it is certainly not a paradise. What we are living in every single day is a nightmare masquerading as life. Wars, pandemics, poverty, cruelty, and endless pain. They aren't random occurrences or challenges designed to make us stronger. They are the defining characteristics of this realm. Welcome to hell, and if that makes you uncomfortable, good, because the truth isn't meant to be comforting, it's meant to wake you up. Let's strip away the sanitized narratives you've been fed for centuries. Many ancient traditions, especially those outside the mainstream Abrahamic faiths, tell us that this world wasn't created by a benevolent God but by a tyrannical force. The Gnostics called this entity the Damaj, a false god obsessed with power and control. According to their texts, the demi-edgtra, divine souls in material bodies, forcing them to endure suffering and servitude in a corrupt, broken world and yet show more. Suicideemojis Avatar Post Spotlight. From Spark to Flame, by Suicidemoji, Journal from Spark to Flame. October 20, 2025. Pneumatic combustion is the locus of Gnostic soteriology. Abstract. For centuries, the hermeneutics of Gnostic thought have centered on the concept of the pneuma, or the divine spark, as a passive, trapped fragment of divinity awaiting liberation through gnosis. This paper challenges this static, possession-based model, arguing that it fosters a soteriology of complacency and a form of pneumatic aristocracy devoid of spiritual labor. We propose a more dynamic and existentially demanding framework, that of pneumatic combustion. This model posits the divine spark not as a state of being but as an inert potentiality, a catalytic seed that is useless unless volitionally ignited by the individual. It is only through the dangerous and all-consuming alchemy of the psyche, fueled by the soul's own substance and memories, that the spark transmutes into a meaningful flame. This flame is defined by its dual output of light gnosis and, crucially, heat praxis agency. This paper will argue that Suicidemoji's avatar. From Spark to Flame, Suicidemoji Post Spotlight. Today in history, roughly 25 years ago, a bunch of dead people got up and walked into Jerusalem. And somehow, nobody talks about it ever, but it's actually in the Bible. Specifically, Matthew 27, 52-53, greater than, the tombs broke open, and the bodies of many holy people who had died were raised to life. They came out of the tombs after Jesus' resurrection and went into the holy city and appeared to many people. Some Bible translations even say, saints, but hold up, saints. Christianity didn't even exist yet. Jesus had literally just died. So who exactly were these people? Were they righteous Jews, prophets, desert mystics, just solid folks who minded their business and tipped well? No idea. A gaggle of Lazari. Who the hell knows? There's zero context. And then it gets weirder. These freshly undead individuals walk into town, appear to many, and then vanish from the narrative entirely. That's it. One of the most insane things ever described in scripture, and it gets about as April 20, 2025. Suicidemoji's avatar today in history, roughly 2025. Suicidemoji. Llama Farm profile comments 221. Suicidemoji's avatar Mac 43's avatar Mac 43 April 14, 2026. Image. Burning Rage 813's avatar Burning Rage 8-13 April 14, 2026. Thanks for the watch. Kinning 01's avatar Kinning 01. April 11, 2026. 3D Expressions' avatar 3D Expressions April 5, 2026. Thank you for watching. Studston. Lavandalu's avatar Lavandalu April 4, 2026. Thank you for watching. Philippa's avatar Philippa April 4, 2026. Thank you for the watch. Tinjinx's avatar Tinjinx. March 31, 2026. Thanks for watching. Laughing face. Load more. Edit cover image support. My work. Browse my shop. DeviantArt homepage. DeviantArt Facebook DeviantArt X DeviantArt Instagram DeviantArt YouTube About. Contact Core Membership. Sell your art. Developers. Advertise. Careers. Help Center. Terms of Service. Copyright Policy. Privacy Policy. Etiquette. Watch Team and join our community group for the latest updates and activities. Join community. Founded in 2000, DeviantArt is the largest online community for artists and art lovers, with over 100 million registered members worldwide and hosting over 650 million pieces of art on the platform. DeviantArt empowers creators to monetize their work and sell their art online, and in 2025 tens of thousands of artists sold on DeviantArt for over $23 million. Copyright 2026 DeviantArt. All rights reserved. Profile navigation SUICIDEMOJI's avatar home. Gallery exclusives.